Hey fam, how's it going? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Emily and I love playing with makeup. Today we have some new to me product, but I've got some OFRA, I've got some Fenty, I've got some Haley's Beauty. If you want to see how I got this look with all of those products, just keep on watching. Alright, so to get started, I am just going to put some lip balm on, and I picked up the E.L.F. Ride or Die Lip Balm in Mighty Mint. I thought this would be good to use. Oh my god. Nobody mentioned how freaking hard it was to get out of the tube. Holy cow. That was not easy. Alright, so I've heard that this is a dupe for the Glossier, like the Balm.com. I do have one of those, and it's thick too, but it's not that hard to get out of the tube. That was difficult, and we'll see how that moistens, how that hydrates the lips while we're doing the rest of our makeup. The next product that I picked up was actually a brow product, and this was something I saw Mandy Lee using. And it is the E.L.F. Shape and Stay Brow Pencil. What it is that it's literally like a wax and a stick. She usually just runs this through her brows, just like this. And since I can never get my brows to fluff up with any kind of gel, and I've never actually tried like soaping them, but I thought that I could try this to get them to stay sort of up and fluffy. It's working so far. I don't know how it will stay once I've actually colored my brows in. And I'm just using my $1 Billion Brows pencil, the Universal Brow Pencil. It's a really, really thick brow pencil. It's not a micro tip. I just like to fill them in a bit. The pencil is actually laying down a lot thicker over that wax. It's not as sheer. It's much more opaque, so I'm getting a much more, I don't want a big blocky brow, I just want some definition. Oh, but it's combing out just fine. Alright. I mean, that was quick and easy. I'm not going to do, hair-like strokes in the front. I can't be bothered today. I'm not trying to get perfect brows. Not that I ever can. I am pretty lucky, I feel, in the brow department that I don't have too many super sparse areas. I'm happy that my brows recovered from the 90s. The wax, I don't actually feel the wax in my brow, so that's good. I was worried about it being very thick and emollient, like on my brow, and I didn't really want to feel it, so I'm happy I don't. I'm going to leave the eyebrows there for now, and we are going to move on to eyeshadow. I recently picked up a few things from OFRA, and you were able to put in the Mini Mix palette in Secret Garden in your cart. I'm not going to do anything super crazy today, but this shade right here is really calling to me. I know as a face palette, it's meant to be like the blush, but it really is just a beautiful pink color, and it's got a bit of a gold shift to it. And I really want to put that on my eyes. I've already got my eyes primed with a bit of my Milani eyeshadow primer. That is not new. Oh yeah, that is pretty. Bit of kick up in the pan, which I don't mind as long as it doesn't end up all over my face. And I am going to bring this a little bit into the crease, even though it's a shiny, satin shade. I don't mind too much when I have satins or shimmers in the crease because I've got such hooded eyes that it ends up there anyways. I like that. That's really pretty. I am going to use a little bit of this purplish blue to just do a little dimension in the crease. That's nice. It's almost like a soft purple gradient into that pink. And just to deepen stuff up a little bit, I'm going to go in with that brown that was in the corner and just put that in my outer corner here. Just to deepen it up just a touch and give it some definition. Blend that out a bit and bring whatever's left on the brush up into the crease. So I lost a bit of intensity with this pink shade. So So I'm going to put some of that back on a slightly damp brush. There we go. Wow, that really brings out that peachy gold. I like that. I think we're looking good. Move on to the other side and I will be right back. Okay, so I've got both eyes done. I don't know what I did to this eye, but it is a little irritated down here. So that is not fallout or shadow. That's actually my puffy skin. We will cover that up with some concealer. So the last thing I'm going to do is go into this light sort of white shade here. And we're just going to take that on a pencil brush. Just take a little of that and put that in the brow arch. Okie dokie. Moving on to the face. Now, I picked up a powder foundation that we're going to try out. So we're going to do concealer first. And the concealer that I picked up is from Hailey's Beauty, and this is the Revive Concealer Cream. Comes in this sort of cool shaped package. It has a paddle shaped doe foot. So of course, because we're using a powder foundation, we're going to do our cream products first. Ooh, this is going to be quite light. Ooh. We'll see how it blends out and how much coverage there is, but this is going to be pretty brightening, so I'm happy that we're doing it underneath the foundation. Oh, it's got good coverage. Very brightening. I definitely could have picked up a darker shade. Especially going into summer, this is going to be way, way, way too light for me. But we can make it work. I can mix it with some of my darker concealers and definitely make it work. It's not too thick of a consistency, but it's not watery either. So far, so good. It's not collecting in my lines right away. But look how brightening that is. Like, dang. Totally covered up my circles. We'll see how it does with this sort of red scratch thing I've got going on here. Again, that is not eyeshadow. That is absolutely some kind of irritation. So it did cover it up somewhat, but I can definitely still see the pink of that irritation showing through. Like, absolutely. But wow, is this brightening. It's interesting though, it feels almost set. Like, I almost feel like I don't need to set this. Like, it feels awesome so far. I'm really impressed. But the powder I got is the Retouch Soft Focus Setting Powder, also from Hailey's Beauty. And this is the package. It's just a nice sort of beigey banana colored component. And it's got your standard lid in it with the sifter holes just right under the eyes. I'm not even going to set out here yet because I do have a primer. I don't want to put the primer over the powder, but I won't be putting primer or powder foundation underneath my eyes. Wow, it's a very, very soft powder. No real scent, just smells like ingredients. So far, so good. Like, my under eyes look like blank canvases now. I'm really liking that. Not the fullest coverage in the world, but the kind of coverage that I like. Like, this is looking really good. Let's move on to primer. I picked up the Fenty Beauty Soft Silk Pro Filter Hydrating Primer in a little mini size. Again, if you're new here, I love minis. I like to try a whole bunch of things, so if I can try out a mini, I'm all for that. Fenty recently had their Friends and Family sale. It was 30% off, so I took that as an opportunity to try some things out. I have not tried a whole heck of a lot from Fenty. And nose, like, this feels insane. I wiped away some of my own coverage, so I would definitely do the primer first and then the concealer. However, I can go back in with a little bit more. Well, this concealer just builds right back up again. No problems at all. That was awesome. Moving on to foundation. I picked up the Fenty Pro Filter Soft Matte Powder Foundation in the shade 190. I will try it with the sponge to see what it looks like in sort of the full coverage capacity, but we might end up buffing this in with a brush because it might be a little light. So that's what it looks like when it picks up on the little sponge that it comes with. Actually, not bad. We're going to use the sponge on one side and then I'll put some on with the brush on the other and just look at the difference in coverage and finish. So the only real powder foundation I've ever used as a powder foundation before has been the MAC Studio Fix, and I do really, really like that one. So I'll be interested to see how this compares. It's probably light years ahead in the sort of makeup technology forum, but I think I'm about sort of medium, light medium coverage. It covered up a bunch of my redness. Like you can still see redness right here. And I'll see if I can build that up just a little bit. I do kind of look like I have a powder on my face, but not terribly. Like it's not terribly powdery. For the other side, I'm going to use my Sigma Angled Kabuki, my, what is this? F84, to lay this down on the other side. And again, press on the coverage first and then buff. So I'd say I was able to get this to about a medium. It doesn't look too powdery on the skin. The match is actually really good. I mean, my lighting is way off today because it's raining and I'm not getting the same light in through the window as I normally do. It looks really good. We'll see how it wears. It feels so lightweight. Of course it is a powder, but it feels so lightweight. I'm really interested to see how this product and the hydrating primer go together. My skin has been pretty dry lately. I really loved the texture of this and how it felt on my skin, and so far this looks beautiful as well, so we'll see how it wears. And I will let you know down in the description box how it wears. We're gonna move on to the rest of the face. Heading back to OFRA here. So I picked up one of the new sort of blusher combos that they recently released, and this is sort of a bronzer blush combination. This is in the shade Unit. I did pick up a cream blush, so we're going to use that. I also picked up the OFRA and Steph Tom's highlighter in Milk and Cookies, and this is gorgeous. First of all, it smells very faintly like cookie dough, and I love that. I love that for me. It's gorgeous. I did swatch this. I had to. That is the highlighter we're going to use, but first we're going to throw on one of the new E.L.F. putty blushes, and I'm so excited to use these. I picked up two different shades, Tahiti and Turks and Caicos. The names on the sides of these are incredibly hard to read, but they are there. So this is Turks and Caicos. It's sort of more of a peachy pink. And this is Tahiti. It's a little bit more neutral and a little bit deeper. This is Turks and Caicos. Okay. Not as pigmented as I thought it was going to be, which is good. Because remember my video with the LYS blush, which I love, by the way, but it was so pigmented and it caught me a little off guard. Okay, and this is Tahiti right here. A little more neutral, more pink. But yeah, E.L.F., I know you're not watching my videos, but if you ever do watch my videos, for the love of God, for us older people who require visual correction, this tiny clear sticker on the side with the name, not helpful. So I'm first going to go in with a stippling brush here, and I'm just going to sort of tap it around in the pot, and then I'm going to tap it out on the back of my hand. Basically evenly distribute the product, but also take off any excess that is just chilling on the surface of the brush. And we are going to go in with this. And the reason why I wanted to use this blush, especially with this new powder foundation, is all of the reviews that I've seen so far have shown that this blush lays really, really well over powders. It is laying the color down without picking up my coverage. And it almost goes to a powder finish like immediately on contact with my skin. Okay, so on this side it is picking up my coverage a little bit. I don't know what I'm doing differently. Just gonna take my sponge and pat that in. Even just that sponge took it down quite a bit. So right off the bat, it's not my favorite, but again, I've tried I have some really great favorite cream blushes. I'll play around with it. I'll try applying it with a sponge, with my fingers. Moving on to the bronzer, we are going to go into the bronze side of the Blusher Duo. Now, I do know that OFRA face powders are generally quite pigmented, so I'm going to tap off my brush quite a bit. It's a lot warmer than I thought it would be. I don't know if it's the right shade for me. Maybe in the summer when I'm a bit more tan, or if I put some self-tanner on. So it's a beautiful powder like usual. OFRA has absolutely beautiful face powders, but I'm just not sure about the shade for me. I think come summer it might be a little bit better. What do you think? It looks orange to me in my monitor, but sometimes the coloring's a bit off based on the monitor that I'm using. Anyway though, I am so excited to jump into this highlight. So this again is the OFRA and Steph Tom's highlight in Milk and Cookies. This is the shade Milk and this is the shade Cookies. I saw Steph talking about it, how this shade looks intense, but they made it so that it actually doesn't look intense on even sort of medium light skin tones. So that's Cookies. So it has sort of a goldy, champagne-y kind of almost peachy tone in there too. Let's put this on my face because we know OFRA highlights are pretty much the best in the games. So I just kind of swirled them together. And just melts into the skin. Look at that. By the way, this Persona brush is amazing for highlight. It just buffs it into the skin so smoothly. It's so soft. And even some of my highlighters that maybe were a little more texture emphasizing, this brush just seems to take that effect down a bit. It seems to stop them from sitting on the skin. It really buffs it in. I was really skeptical about this brush when I first got it, but I love it. I love it a lot. I'm going to do the Milk mustache in honor of Steph. Perfection. I love it. That is A+. A+ for me. I already know that I love OFRA highlights and the shades are stunning. I have not met an OFRA highlight that I don't like, so there we go. I'm gonna go ahead and finish off the eyeballs. First, I'm gonna take my larger pencil brush here. I'm gonna run this green under the eyes because I had to use the green. I want to use the green. And we're just gonna sort of smudge that under the eyes. And I'm going to take a smaller pencil brush, grab the purple that I used, just this one, and just use this on the sort of mid to inner, just to tie that purple back in. And then for the inner corner, of course, I would love to go back into Milk and Cookies, but we're actually going to try this highlighter, which is Blissful, which also looks stunning. It looks like a champagne pink. It's got a bit of peach to it too. That is pretty. But like I said, I've not met an OFRA highlight that I don't like. Stunning. I'm going to throw on some liner and some mascara, neither of which are new, and I will be right back. Okay, I'm back. I just used a little bit of the ColourPop Cream Gel Liner in the shade Swerve, which is just the black one, just to do a little bit of tight lining on the outer third of my top lid. And then I used one of my current faves, the Lancome Lashy Doll mascara. I did a little shadow of a wing. And what else did I do? Oh, I set the brows just with a little bit of Benefit Gimme Brow. Sprayed my face with the new Benefit Professional Super Setter. Don't sleep on this. I know everyone's like, oh god, another professional product. This is a really, really good setting spray. I am loving it. And it has the most amazing mister in the world. It's like a cloud. You almost don't know that you're getting any on your face, and then you're like, oh, settle down. Moving on to lips. I have never really used or tried a lip primer, and I thought, let's give it a whirl. So we're moving back to E.L.F. here. So this is the E.L.F. Lock On Lip Primer. I am going to take off a bit of that lip balm, which feels nice. My lips feel nourished. I like the lip balm. I don't like how freaking hard it is to get out of the container, though. Gosh, E.L.F.'s making you work for it. I'm assuming you just paint it on. It is clear, which is interesting. I don't know what I was expecting. I guess I was expecting it to be like opaque, like almost like a concealer. Starting to dry down, getting a little tackier. While we let that dry down, I'll show you what I picked up for lip liner. This is not new at all, but I've heard so much about it and everyone's saying don't sleep on it, don't sleep on it, don't sleep on it, that I caved. So I got the E.L.F. Retro Paradise Line and Shine kit, and this is still available. I have linked it down below in the description box. And this comes with 4 lip liners as well as a glittery gloss, which I will probably give to my daughter because super glittery glosses like this are not my jam. Ooh, my lips are definitely sticky. Okay, so you get 4 pencils, and they are the sharpenable kind. Let's take a look at some of these colors. Are they not, they don't have shades? Okay, I don't think they have shade names, so I'm just going to swatch them. They're creamier than I thought they would be for a wooden pencil liner situation. So these are the 4 swatches right there. I'm going to pick out my lipstick because I'm not sure what's going to go with it, because the lipstick is definitely a different color than I thought when I ordered it online. It looks much, much different in real life than it does in the picture online. So this is the Seriously Satin lipstick from E.L.F. in the shade Taffy. So this is the lipstick, and it is much, much, much pinker than I thought it was going to be. And it almost matches with this pink lip liner, but I don't want to go pink on pink. So I think I'm going to use this bottom lip liner to give it a bit of definition. And again, they don't have shade names. And I can't talk while I'm doing this, but this lip primer is very sticky. I fill in the corners. For some reason I'm having a really hard time getting a crisp line out here on me with this lip liner. I don't know if it's the pencil or the primer, but it's just sliding around a lot. Yeah, I don't know. I can't seem to get a crisp line on the bottom for the life of me. But everyone raves about these lip liners, so I think it might be either me or it's a good thing about powder foundation is you can touch up really easily. Not great. I think that is as good as we're going to get. I'm going to have to try those lip liners without this primer. My lips are still sticky even with the lip liner on top of that primer. But let's go ahead and put this shade. This is not what it looked like online. I would not have purchased this if that was the color, but let's do this. Blend it in with my finger a little bit. So with the lip liner, see, and it's smearing outside the lines again. I think it's the primer. With the liner, I definitely got this color to something I would actually wear, because this, not so much. This is the finished look. This is my full face of, well, almost full face of new stuff. So let's run through the products really quick. So first of all, the primer. Love the primer so far. I can't obviously say right now anything about how it helps the longevity of my foundation, but my skin feels wonderful. Even with that powder foundation and other powders on top, my skin feels really, really good. It looks really, really good. Even with a full face of built up powder foundation, it doesn't look emphasized. It looks hydrated. I don't see dryness anywhere. I really, really like this so far. The concealer, really, really like how this is looking underneath my eyes. They don't look dry. They haven't gathered in any lines. I have a bit of a mascara mishap right here, so it's a little dark right there, but that was my bad. This looks really, really excellent. It goes on so smooth and blends out so well. I mean, I have yet to meet a Hailey's beauty product I don't like either. Their matte foundation's a little too much for me in the winter. I really love their luminous one in the winter. I think I found another new favorite concealer. There's been a lot of really great concealers recently. I have found a few, but I may have to get this in a bit of a darker shade because it's quite bright. Although now, it's not looking too bad now that everything's all pulled together, but at first it was a little shockingly bright. I didn't use it to highlight today because I was a little worried about how light it was. The Retouch setting powder from Hailey's, very, very smooth powder. It did not make my under eyes look dry or cakey, and I really like it so far. Definitely keep using that. The Fenty foundation, I mean, it looks great. I will let you know in the description box down below how it wears and what it looks like at the end of the day for sure, but so far it feels amazing and it looks really, really good. The OFRA eyeshadows, I mean, they're okay. They're not my favorite eyeshadow formula. I had some trouble with some of them being a touch patchy. The color story too, some of these colors as I was putting them together. I actually filmed the eye look part of this video twice because I really struggled with a couple of these colors blending together and looking very, very muddy, and that was a problem. Like these two together ended up looking like mud. These two together ended up looking like mud, so it was kind of a bit of a struggle. I had to redo the eye look. I do like what we ended up with up here, but that of course was this shade in the outer corner, this shade all over the lid, and a little bit of this one in the crease to provide some sort of dimension and depth. The highlighter's stunning, of course. Over highlighters are amazing. But I'm going to have to play around with the eyeshadows a little bit more. Formula's okay. It's not as impactful. It's more everyday friendly. The shimmer isn't emphasizing any of my texture on my lids. I don't really mind that so much. I do like a blingy eyelid. It's okay. It's not my favorite, but I will continue to play with it. The Milk and Cookies highlighter is stunning. The blush stir in the shade Unit. I did not try the blush, so let's put some of that blush on right now. That kicked up quite a lot. Okay. So the blush is pretty. I like the blush. The bronzer is not quite the right tone for me. I don't know if it will be in the summer either. I'll definitely give it a try, but it would be a nice eyeshadow. The brow product. I did end up running some Gimme Brow through my brows later on. I can actually feel the brows sort of being held in place. I'm not sure if it's this really doing the job. They don't feel overly waxy. They look nice and fluffy. If anything, it didn't provide a whole lot of hold, but what it did is provide almost a bit of volume. So my brows actually look like fluffier, like more three-dimensional. I'll keep using that. The lipstick color I hate, but I was able to make it work with the brown lip liner. Something's going on with the lip liner. Something is sliding all over the place. So I don't know if it is the lip liners that are sliding all over the place or the lip primer that is causing it to slide all over the place. Maybe if I apply the liner first and then the primer. I don't know, but something in this combination is not working. So I can't give you an opinion really on either of these products till I try them out a little more. Oh, the putty blush. I might be just kind of spoiled because I have some really amazing cream blushes that I know and love. These didn't blow my socks off right off the bat, so I will continue to play with them. So far, they're not as good as some of my favorites. I think that is everything we tried today. I will definitely update you in the description box about how things wore. I mean, I already know how this mascara wears. I already know how a lot of this other stuff wears. I'll let you know if the blush faded, if the bronzer faded. I don't think they're going to fade because OFRA does face powders really, really well. Oh, the highlighter. I don't anticipate it's going to fade because, again, it's kind of OFRA's specialty. I'm relatively happy with how this look turned out. Mostly hits. The Hailey's Beauty stuff and the OFRA stuff and the Fenty stuff, all good. Thank you so much for joining me today on this trying new makeup. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, go ahead and give it a like. It really, really helps me out, and it's free. And if you want to be part of the fam, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and turn your notification bell on so that YouTube might notify you every time that I upload. Not always. I hope you do stick around. Other than that, have a wonderful day. Stay safe, be healthy, and wash your damn hands. Bye. I got powder all over my shirt. You need a lip balm break. You need some lip balm. A little down the middle. And that rind. Oh. My hand slipped.